welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. Today we welcome the president of the Quincy Toastmasters Club. Learn all about that group's history and how you might be able to get involved as well. First, though, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, a little bit of brightening going on through the gray out there. It's a brisk, breezy one for sure. 40 degrees right now, and that is really about as warm as it's going to get today. Lots of clouds, and the wind has got a bit of a bite to it as well, so certainly bundle up. Temperatures drop tonight into the mid-30s. I think today actually is going to be best day of the week, so try and get out and enjoy it, because beginning tomorrow we start to get cool and damp with showers moving in, probably holding off until tomorrow afternoon. It'll still be windy too, with highs tomorrow only in the lower 40s. More of the same on Wednesday. Morning showers, afternoon clouds or the gray, a little bit warmer. Highs Wednesday into the mid-50s, and still wet here on Thursday. Could be actually some heavy downpours around on Thursday with a high around 50 degrees. Friday doesn't look much better right now either. So enjoy today. We have 40 degrees in Quincy with a little bit of brightening going on right now. Checking out the news for you today, National Grid is seeking an increase in its electric distribution rates that could add about $8 more per month to the average residential electric customer's bill, and commercial customers may see a 16% monthly increase. So the State Department of Public Utilities is conducting a series of public hearings about these proposed rate hikes. The most recent hearing was held at North Quincy High School last week. James McGaugh, U.S. Head of Corporate Affairs for National Grid, says the increases are needed to maintain and improve electric service for the region.
We have an important responsibility as the electricity provider here in Quincy. We will continue to strengthen our partnership with the city and surrounding communities. Providing the best service possible to the Quincy area and all of our customers is top of mind throughout the whole company. National Grid has been very active in the last few years, upgrading substation equipment and adding feeders as we partner with the city to serve the increased electric load brought on by economic growth throughout Quincy. We've been upgrading and replacing poles and upgraded the Field Street substation as we strive to meet growing demand and enhance the reliability of the system.
South Shore Chamber of Commerce President Peter Foreman spoke in favor of the rate increases, citing the need for improved electricity infrastructure to support economic growth. A spokesperson for the Attorney General's office said they want the best possible electric service from National Grid with the least possible rate increases. The DPU must decide by October whether to approve, modify, or deny the requested rate hikes. Affordable housing is taking center stage in Quincy. City Council recently approved a resolution introduced by Councilor at Large Noel DeBona that asks the Planning Board to make sure that there are no impediments to creating affordable housing in Quincy. The measure also asks the city to search for any state or federal funds that may be available to make housing in the city more affordable. City Council President Ian Kane agrees that housing costs are a problem.
I don't even know how you call sort of economic classes anymore, because I think the way that I see it is that, you know, we kind of have an upper echelon and a lower echelon now, and sort of the middle has been very much crowded out, and, you know, wage and labor rates just have not kept pace with the cost of living. So it's a very difficult equation, but certainly worth the effort to figure out how we can alleviate some of those burdens.
The resolution states that Quincy is now unaffordable for anyone making less than $100,000 per year. City Council Housing and Oversight Committees will be reviewing that proposal. City of Quincy in the process of updating its ongoing hazard mitigation plan. The city is required by federal law to update its plan for how to deal with natural disasters. The current plan expires at the end of April. So the city's hired Ty and Bond engineers to help put together the new plan. Last week, environmental scientist Gabrielle Belfit told the Quincy Planning Board that Quincy has the 5th highest rate of repetitive claims for flood damage in the state.
From 2017 to 2023, severe repetitive loss properties have increased from 174 to 206. And that is a total over the period of the NFIP program from 540 total claims to 679 claims. There have been a doubling in severe repetitive losses in the past 5 years, from a total of 73 claims to a total of 126 claims over 22 properties. So that, if you want to know who the other communities are that have that worse than you to make you feel better, Situate is number one with 2,254 repetitive loss properties. Revere is number two. Then there's Hull and Marchfield are ahead of you.
Part of the updated hazard mitigation plan includes educating the public about the impacts of climate change, identifying flood-prone areas in Quincy, and seeking state and federal grants to mitigate flooding potential. The plan requires approval from the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency and FEMA. Well, plans to celebrate the City of Quincy's 400th anniversary as a settlement next year are moving forward. Quincy Mayor Thomas Koch says that he has a team meeting frequently now to come up with events and activities to run throughout 2025.
Trying to nail down the master calendar for next year so that we're not competing with other local events or things. So we're working with all the organizations. If we're going to have 1, 2, or 3 major events at the stadium, you have to book out a long time ahead of time to get those acts. Those kinds of things are being worked on. We've got RFPs out through our purchasing department, one for a monument for the Ponkabog band of the Massachusetts tribe. So we'll be looking to do a monument there. They're called the Three Sisters. So the RFP is out for that. We have an RFP. If it's not out, it's going out for outdoor public art. For example, Joe, the underpasses at West Street, Willard Street, Hancock Street Bridge in North Quincy. We constantly are repainting those walls because of graffiti. If we can have a beautiful outdoor mural done on these walls, perhaps highlighting some of our history, I don't think the graffiti artists will interfere with that or deface that. So it'd be kind of a cool thing. A bunch of items. We're still working on the Performing Arts Center. Also, probably an RFP out for a sculptor to perhaps do another statue or two, but we don't know where we are on that.
Koch says he does hope a key piece of Quincy 400 will be the start of construction on a new center for the performing arts in Quincy Center, and an announcement's expected soon about plans for an Adams Presidential Center in Quincy Center to honor the two presidents. Mayor said he wants Quincy 400 to leave a lasting legacy about the city's founding and growth for the next 100 years. Well, the Friends of Wollaston Beach are planning a series of free summer events on the beach again this year, thanks to another successful Shamrock Splash fundraiser. Volunteers braved the chilly waters of Constitution Beach in East Boston earlier this month to raise money for Save the Harbor, Save the Bay, which distributes funds to organizations that support state-run beaches from Nahant to Nantasket, including Wollaston Beach in Quincy. The event raised almost $56,000 this year, and the intrepid team from the Friends of Wollaston Beach raised over $6,400. The Friends are planning activities this year that will include a kids' fest, yoga on the beach, story time, and even coastal and wastewater education programs. It's our look at news for you today. Coming up, we sit down with the president of the Quincy Toastmasters Club. That's next. Welcome back. It's been a little while here in the program since we put a spotlight on the Quincy Toastmasters Club, at least 5 years ago, actually. So we thought it was time for a refresh, and quite appropriately, the president, Elizabeth Thomas, is here to tell us all about it. Great to meet you, Elizabeth.
Great to meet you, too. Thank you so much for having me.
It's
Wonderful.
our pleasure. Like I said, we did have representatives from the club on the program here, but it's been a while.
Okay.
And I thought let's remind folks a little bit about what Toastmasters is, what its purpose is, and how folks might be able to take part in it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much again for having us. So Toastmasters, Quincy Toastmasters is part of Toastmasters International. And Toastmasters International is worldwide. we have about 270,000 members worldwide
Wow.
in 148 countries. So Quincy Toastmasters is just one of the clubs. And last week we held an open house, and our missionary said it's helping people go from being fearless from being fearful to fearless. So that's what Toastmasters is. It helps us to improve our public speaking abilities and to be more confident speakers.
Sure. It's right in the name, right?
Yeah.
When you think Toastmasters, right? You typically think of a wedding, right? And somebody giving a toast. Right.
yeah.
So is that where the name came from?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
How old is the Quincy Club?
The Quincy Club turned 75 on the 1st of January.
Wow.
So that's great. We're celebrating our Jubilee year. And we're just excited. We were one of two charter clubs, the first charter clubs in Massachusetts. So
Really?
that's a big deal for us.
Wow. Did you know
Yes.
how it all got started years ago in Quincy? No.
I don't know how it,
Yeah.
but I know we're one of two of the first ones.
That's amazing. How many members in the Quincy Club?
We have about 40 members for sure. We have, on a nightly basis, we have about 25 to 30 members present, but I think we have 40 members, registered members.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the official name is 675 Toastmasters.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Quincy 675. I really don't know how they came about with that 675, but just to distinguish it from the other club,
Yes.
I guess.
Okay.
Yes.
How did you yourself get involved with Toastmasters?
Toastmasters.
Yeah.
You know what? As a child, I, like a lot of people, had this fear of public speaking. But it was a few years ago that one of my friends who was very involved in Toastmasters in London passed away suddenly. And for a whole week during her memorial services, there was so much talk about Toastmasters. And although I had researched Toastmasters before, that was the push for me. I said, you know what? I've put it back for too long, and this is it. I think it's time.
Wow.
In her memory, I said, I'm going to join Toastmasters, and I did.
Really?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
So I'm on my second year.
So you're new?
I'm fairly new.
Yeah.
I'm fairly new.
How has the experience been?
It has been phenomenal.
Really?
I will tell everyone that this is absolutely the best gift I've given myself, the gift of Toastmasters.
What about you has changed in the past 2 years from being in Toastmasters?
For instance, when I was asked about this, in the past, I would get all flustered. I would want to see questions beforehand. What am I going to ask? So I think it has prepared me to really think on my feet. We have this part of the agenda where we do the impromptu speeches. So that really helps you to be prepared for anything.
Yes.
A lot of practice. So that's what I like about it.
Interesting. Okay. So are you from the area originally?
No, I am from the Caribbean island of Dominica.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about your journey here to the States.
My journey here, well, actually my husband brought me, I came to Massachusetts because of my husband. I
Okay.
got married and stayed here.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Oh, my daughter is 20 years.
A few years ago.
A few years ago, yeah.
Okay.
A few years ago.
And settled here in Eastern Massachusetts?
Yes, we're in Milton.
In Milton. Okay, so right next door.
Yeah, next door, yeah.
What do you do in your day job, if you will?
In my day job, I
Yeah.
am the clinical operations assistant at the Mattapan Community Health Center.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
you interact
Yeah.
with the public on
I
a daily
do.
basis, yeah.
I do, yes.
How has Toastmasters helped you in that part of your life?
It helps me a lot because I have to be at certain meetings, for instance, the quality improvement meeting, the providers meeting. So I often have to speak up. I write minutes, so that has helped me a lot. In my first year at Quincy Toastmasters, I was the club secretary, so taking the minutes. So that has helped me in my day job as well.
Sure, yeah, just organization, right?
Yes.
And planning.
Yes.
And getting everything chronologically
Having
correct.
a good listening ear. And
Yes.
taking things
So
down.
here you are 2 years in and you're president,
I
Elizabeth.
know.
Yeah, how did that happen?
That's crazy. So first I started off 6 months into my journey in Toastmasters, I was the club secretary. And then the following year, I put my name in the ring for the president.
Oh, all
And
right.
It was two of us who ran for president, and obviously I got more votes, and here I am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So what is your goal as president for Toastmasters?
My goal as president is to continue to increase membership. I'm working with two newer members as a mentor to help them along the process. It can be a little daunting when you just start to know all the moving parts. There's an educational component to Toastmasters where we follow pathways. So everyone, there are different pathways you can follow. My first year, I did the leadership development pathway, which I completed, and now I am doing motivational strategies pathway. So people can choose different pathways, and there are different projects that you have to do along those pathways. So as a mentor, I'm helping them navigate those pathways, and sometimes it can be they're not sure of what they should do and so on. So I meet with them on Mondays before our club, which I call Mentorship Mondays. So I'm meeting with my two prodigies tonight, 6:30 before our club meeting.
Okay. So are there instructors and classes as part of Toastmasters? How does that actually work?
So we learn from each other.
Okay.
There are the templates. The Toastmasters International has lots of resources.
I see. Okay.
Like some of the handouts I gave you
Yes, yeah.
on learning to find your voice, what the program entails. So, but most of it is learning from each other. Some in our club, we have members who have been there for many, many years. The gentleman who spoke at the open house has been a member for 30 plus years.
Wow.
So he comes with a wealth of experience. So to help the newer members who may be just 1 year into it or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's talk about how does one become a member of Quincy Toastmasters?
So to become a member of Quincy Toastmasters, you can find us on Toastmasters International. And it says find a club, and you submit a contact submission form, and then we'll get in touch with you. And we encourage guests to come visit, see what it's like.
Okay.
You can visit for 3 meetings, and then you if you choose to, become a member. But for the first meeting or 2, you just come to observe what's it about, what's it like. You interact with members, get to know what it's like, see the agenda, and stuff like that.
Okay. So
Yeah.
where and when do you meet?
So we meet every Monday night, excluding holidays. We meet in the Anselmo Library at Quincy College from 7:15 to about 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who can become a member of Quincy Toastmasters?
Anybody can
Anybody?
become
Really?
of Quincy.
Okay.
Welcome all. It's a very diverse club.
Is it
Yes.
no age restrictions or?
Well, I would say maybe high school. We are targeting the college students, so college up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what is required of a member once they become a member?
Once you join, we have dues that we pay every
Okay.
6 months. So right now we're in membership drive for paying up dues. It's $80 for every 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the only requirement? Do you have to attend certain
You have
number of
to.
meetings?
Well,
or-
we have the Toastmasters promise that you have, and we hope that when you become inducted into the club, we ask you to read the promise that you'll be diligent about attending meetings, going for the projects, giving speeches, and that sort of thing.
to bring guests
Bring
to the
guests,
club, it says.
Offer to sign as an officer, and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Okay. all
Yeah.
right. But these are kind of on a volunteer
On a volunteer basis, nobody's forced. I mean, some people extend quicker than others. You know,
Yes.
some people may, as soon as you come, you dive in and start giving speeches, and some people are more laid back and they want to observe a little longer.
Right,
The
yeah.
first speech you do is your icebreaker, and your icebreaker is just an introduction of who you are to the rest of the members.
So this is your elevator speech, essentially.
Yes, who are you and what brought you here? And
Right.
and once you've gotten that out of the way, then you're more inclined to want to take on more speeches. But I know for me, the icebreaker speech was nerve-wracking.
Really?
Oh yes, all eyes are on you, and it's your very first time. Although you're just speaking about yourself, where you're from, your hobbies.
The
your
easiest
likes.
topic, right?
Supposedly,
This should
supposedly,
be.
but it's not always the case. You
Yeah.
know, there are a lot of sweaty palms, and you're not sure of yourself. And although it's 4 to 6 minutes,
Yes.
it seems like an hour when you're standing there with all eyes upon you.
So what are some tips then, for getting through that, or for any kind of public presentation? What do you advise folks if they're having a case of nerves?
Breathing,
Breathing.
pausing.
Yeah.
You know, these things, and it comes over time.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more you get comfortable being up there, and you learn tips. You learn tips about hand gestures, using vocal variety, engaging with the audience, and just knowing that everybody there is there to help you succeed and become a better speaker.
There's
it
no
helps.
tests, right? You're not going to be
There's no-
quizzed or
no, you're
anything?
not gonna be quizzed.
Okay. You're not going to pass. There's no pass or
No,
fail.
there's no pass or fail, and there are no losers
Right.
in Toastmasters. One of my favorite quotes is by Helen Blanchard, was the very first female international president in 1970, and she has a quote that says, if you get out of Toastmasters all there is to get out of Toastmasters, then you never get out of Toastmasters.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
Yeah.
I truly believe that.
Well, it's really, it's a lot more than giving a speech or giving
Yes.
a toast, right?
Yes.
I mean, it transcends probably every aspect of your
Yeah.
life, right?
Yes.
Your interpersonal relationships, your work relationships.
Absolutely. Communication,
yeah.
leadership development, all these things, it's part of Toastmasters.
Yeah. Elizabeth, has the advent of technology, changed the way Toastmasters approaches its mission? We communicate so much differently today than we did 75 years ago,
We do.
Yeah.
So I wasn't in Toastmasters when the pandemic happened.
Okay.
So that's when they introduced the hybrid. And
Right.
we're still hybrid today.
Oh, really?
Which is great.
okay.
I sometimes go to another club. As a Toastmaster member, you can visit any club.
Oh, okay.
And last week I was at another club and there was a member from Saudi Arabia giving
Wow.
a speech.
Wow.
It was 8 o'clock at night for her, but so that's what it is. It's a whole new world has been explored with technology. So that's great. You don't have to be, you can visit us hybrid if you like.
Okay.
You don't have to be there in person.
Okay.
We
So-
encourage people to come
Of
in
course,
person,
yeah.
but there's always that option. I was away for a few weeks last year, and I was still able to connect. I can connect with any club anywhere in the world. Toastmasters is in 148 countries.
Pretty good chance you're going to find one
Yes,
where you are, right?
anywhere
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah.
Through the hybrid method, you can join.
Isn't it better to be one-on-one like we are right
I
now?
prefer to be in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it a different way to communicate than it is virtually?
When you're virtual, you have to pay attention to the screen. You have to make sure you're seated in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different feel. It's great that we have the opportunity, but I like the in-person
It
better.
opens up the access, I think.
It
more.
certainly
yeah,
does.
Different gestures,
Yes.
and inflections that you might
Yes.
not get otherwise. We heard a lot about how young people are
Oh, my
stuck on their
goodness.
phones,
Yes.
and are
Yes.
not communicating.
And they're losing those social skills.
Are you seeing that?
I think so.
Really?
I have 2 young people in my
Oh,
life. so
okay.
I
All right.
know it's a shame that as much as we want to encourage the use of technology, but I've seen it take away from the social aspect of one-on-one, that those interpersonal skills that
Yeah.
are lacking today.
Yeah. So, what could young folks learn from Toastmasters to kind of improve those skills?
We want young people to come to join us.
Right.
We want them to come to see that being in person and that eye contact is so important. One-on-one, speaking with someone, there's a difference than being on screen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, do you encourage folks maybe when they first join, at least, to maybe write things down, little cue cards, if you will, or,
We do,
or helpful notes?
Yeah, we do. We try not to encourage you to read your
Right.
notes,
That's
but
a-
you can
that's a
have
whole different
index cards in
Okay.
front of you with the bullet points of what you want to speak about.
Okay.
And the more you do that, the more you get away from it eventually. So that's great.
Sure. So you meet on Mondays.
We meet on
So you're
Mondays.
meeting tonight?
We're meeting tonight.
Okay, what's going to
I'm
happen
actually
at
giving a
tonight's
speech
meeting? Oh,
tonight.
you're giving a speech?
I'm giving a speech tonight. Tonight we will have 4 prepared speakers.
Oh, okay.
And in addition to that, we have what is called table topics, an opportunity for impromptu speeches. So there will be a table topics master who will call on volunteers and give them a question.
Is that when you duck
answer.
under the table and say, "Please don't pick me"?
You answer right then and there. And it's 1 to 2 minutes.
Okay.
So that's great. And then we have the evaluators. So for the prepared speakers, you have evaluators. So I have an evaluator that I connected
Oh.
with beforehand to let him know what are my objectives. What do I want him to look out for
Okay.
during my speech? In my particular speech tonight, it's 2-part. I am doing the evaluation and feedback project. So the speech tonight, my evaluator will give me feedback.
Right.
And next week, I will deliver the same speech, incorporating the feedback that I get from my evaluator tonight.
Oh, all right. So
Yes.
that's actually it's constructive, right?
It is.
It's not-
It is.
it's not-
Constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when you're delivering it,
Yes.
you probably don't even hear yourself.
No,
right? You
no,
know?
and it goes by so fast. My
Yes.
speech is 5 to 7 minutes.
What's
and
your speech about tonight?
Tonight, I am following the motivational strategies pathway, and my particular project is the evaluation and feedback project. Tonight I've chosen to speak on my part-time job as a retail associate at TJ Maxx
Oh, fun.
and my interaction with customers.
Okay.
So that's going to be.
Retail therapy.
Yes, retail therapy is the name of the speech.
Something a lot of folks can relate to,
Yes,
probably.
yes,
All right,
yeah.
so I was trying to get a sense of what topics can be anything.
You can speak of anything. They'll give you the project idea, but
Yeah.
you're free to speak on anything.
Okay.
So for instance, your project might be they're looking on vocal variety.
Mm-hmm.
So you choose a speech that you know you're going to have lots of vocal variety.
Okay.
That sort of thing.
Do you practice beforehand?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I mean, not as much as I did in the beginning.
Right.
Because I don't want it to seem like I've memorized
I
the
understand.
speech, because
Yeah.
I know the worst thing you can do is memorize. Because if you miss one word, then it throws
You all off.
It throws you off. So I try not to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's been
Thank
fun to
you.
learn about Toastmasters. And
Thank you so much for having me.
Hopefully get the word out for you and encourage folks to at least find out about it.
Yeah.
And
Thank you for all your promo with the open house.
Yeah, we're happy
Yeah.
happy to do that. Happy it went well.
Thank you.
And please come back.
I certainly will.
All
Thank
right.
you for having me.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Just enough time to check the forecast for you for the rest of the day today. It's really going to be the best day of the week, folks, believe it or not, so get out and enjoy it. Brisk and breezy one with temperatures only in the lower 40s and more clouds than sun, unfortunately. But it heads downhill starting tomorrow with some showers moving in the afternoon. It'll be rather windy and raw as well, still pretty damp. A little warmer on Wednesday into the mid-50s. And Thursday is pretty much a washout as well with a high around 50 degrees. Thanks again to Elizabeth Thomas for joining us from
Thank
Quincy
you.
Toastmasters. Thanks to our crew, and thank you for watching. Please join us again here on Friday morning. Meantime, head to our website. It's qatv.org. You'll find all our latest programs there. There's news and information. There's video on demand, live streaming, and more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.